Right. Hopefully, I'm back online. I'm really sorry about that. It might take you a minute to find this new feed. My computer just crashed. It's all Ben Chambers' fault. He's sitting over there, and it's all his fault. Isn't it, Ben? Yeah. Okay, so Rishi Sunak's just been asked a question about why his MPs are such snowflakes and going on at Gary Lineker and trying to get Match of the Day taken off the TV. Why don't they stop being such snowflakes and actually just deal with, the fact that free speech is a thing that exists and should be celebrated, I guess. Okay, so on with the show.
Just the usual political opportunism from the leader of the Labour Party.
Political opportunism.
Because I don't know if he noticed. But actually first the Shadow Attorney General and then the Shadow Home Secretary actually criticised the language that had been used.
Oh. Right, okay. That lets you off the hook then.
But what a surprise. What a surprise. He saw the chance
We're not getting very good signal today.
And changed his mind.
Do you know what might help?
Yes,
Back in a moment.
So, Mr. Speaker,
I'm not being funny. I think our constituents want to get to the budget. You showed the more you progress questions. So please, my constituents interested if yours aren't.
Mr. Speaker, they want more of a Prime Minister who doesn't understand. You can disagree with what somebody says, but still defend their right to say it. He doesn't understand that. We're in a real problem. Does he accept that people's concerns about the BBC have been made worse because the government chose to put a Tory donor with no broadcasting experience in charge of the BBC?
Good point. Yeah, no broadcasting experience whatsoever. Just a Tory donor. He gave £400,000 to the Tory party. Oh, okay, he gets away with it then. Seriously.
He was appointed.
And the same applies to this side.
Sorry, we're a bit late.
This budget matters to the people of this country. They want to hear it. Don't keep questions going longer than need be. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, there was a rigorous, independent and long-established process.
I don't know if anyone else is watching this now.
Supported by expert panel members, as well as the cross-party DCMS Select Committee. Now, it's right. That process is being independently reviewed by the Office for Commissioner of Public Appointments, and we should allow that.
Is he being suspended while it's being investigated? Is he fucked?
Mr. Speaker, the problem is the chair of the BBC isn't just any old Tory donor. He's so close to the Prime Minister.
Don't destroy the magic, right?
Mr. Fabricant, I want you to be in for the budget. Cup of teas don't want to come that early.
Mr. Speaker, he's no ordinary Tory donor. He's so close to the Prime Minister, he's been described as his mentor. He helped arrange an £800,000 credit line for the former Prime Minister. A minor detail he forgot to tell the Select Committee, which scrutinised his appointment. Does the Prime Minister think that his friend's position is still tenable?
Well, Mr. Speaker, as I've just said, the Independent Office for Commissioner of Public Appointments is reviewing what was a rigorous independent process to appoint the chair.
The chair of the BBC is a Tory donor. The Director General of the BBC is a failed Tory councillor, and one of the guys on the Tory party on the BBC board once railed against the woke-karate of the BBC.
The Tory party somehow find themselves in senior positions at the BBC.
High context.
It's important that their impartiality is seen to be
beyond super chat.
reproach.
Stable internet connection and put towards your heating bill, Graham. Thank you very much, David Falconer, over in Hong Kong.
The Tory party was lobbied by Tory MPs or involved in the decision that saw Match of the Day effectively cancelled.
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, these are matters.
These are what?
These are matters for the BBC to resolve. And it's right.
Yes.
It's right that the BBC, as an important institution, takes its obligations to impartiality seriously. Right? I care about the integrity and impartiality of our institutions, the BBC, but also the civil service, Mr. Speaker. And it's right those processes carry on properly.
What?
But what I would say to him, on this matter, there is an independent review. It's right that that process concludes, and I would hope, respect that process.
He's a civil servant, he made a lord, and then brought him in as a minister.
He comes here today with these mealy-mouthed platitudes, pretending the actions of his party are nothing to do with him.
Platitudes.
But the whole country saw how he kept quiet and hid behind the playground bullies while they tried to drive someone out simply for disagreeing with them. An impartial public broadcaster, free of government interference, is a crucial pillar in our country. But isn't that put at risk by the cancel culture addicts on his benches, the BBC leadership that caves into their demands, and a Prime Minister too weak to do anything about them?
Mr. Speaker, we're not going to take any lectures on cancel culture from the party opposite.
What?
But we know what this is about, and he's avoided it in six questions. The substance of the issue that this underlied this tweet. And that's what has he done in this past week. The only thing he and his party have done is voted against our bill to stop the boats, Mr. Speaker. Siding with people smugglers over the British people. That's the substance of what's happened.
The people smugglers over the British people. There were no people smugglers bringing people over in small boats before your government changed the rules to make it easy for them. Your boat policy, your small boat policy, facilitates these bastards. It is literally a people smugglers charter, a people traffickers charter. That's what it is.
Can I just say to you, the biggest day in the House, and you want to carry on cheering? I'll tell you what, I'll be quiet. Because there is plenty of rumours I've mentioned in the tea room for all sides.
For God's sake,
so let me say, Angela Richardson wants to get on with the questions.
Crazy old
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For decades, Surrey Research Park in Guildford has been home to our pioneering space sector, with Surrey Satellite Technology Limited and now Surrey Space Centre's spacecraft project, which recently received £300,000 to train and recruit dedicated space engineers and create facilities to trial space-related technology. Will my right honourable friend join with me in welcoming this investment? And when his diary allows, will he come and visit Guildford to celebrate successful local innovation?
Why would anyone go to Guildford?
Shithole. Well, I can reassure my honourable friend that we are continuing to invest in the UK's thriving space sector, including in her constituency. A new
Foreign direct investment is down
scheme to support high-impact
96%, mate.
South Central, as she knows, is already the leading regional space cluster in the UK. There's more investment coming, and I look forward to either visiting myself or the Minister of State for Science, Innovation and Technology to make sure that her companies get the recognition they deserve.
SNP leader Stephen Flynn.
Mr. Speaker, on Monday, as households in Scotland were awakening to freezing temperatures, they were met with the news that the electricity grid had been upgraded in order to meet the power demands of the Prime Minister's new swimming pool. So may I ask him, was it whilst he was taking a leisurely dip that he decided to leave households drowning in their energy bills?
Mr. Speaker, thanks to the actions of this government, what we have provided is over £1,300 to help families with their energy bills over the last year. I won't want to preempt what the Chancellor is going to say later, but this is a government that is committed to continuing to help people with the cost of living, and that's what you'll hear later on.
Stephen Flynn.
You've got to wonder what planet he's on, Mr. Speaker, because for households in Scotland, energy prices haven't been frozen at £2,500. Indeed, the average bill in Scotland has been closer to £3,500, a near tripling in just under 2 years. But worse than that, the Chancellor is about to get to his feet and announce that the £400 energy rebate is about to be scrapped for everyone, not just in Scotland, but right across these aisles. So is it not the case the Tories aren't freezing energy bills, they're looking to freeze households?
Mr. Speaker, actually,
why are you standing up, Gullis?
This
is where the Prime Minister asks.
Energy bills have been off priority, which is why over £1,000 of support, which is benefiting households in every part of our country. But he talks about delivery. It's now clear that we know because of the SNP that the trains don't run on time. The police are
What?
police are
The trains
at
don't
breaking
run on
point.
time, mate.
The
Fuck
police
off.
are at
I live in
breaking
fucking
point,
Dublin, mate.
and
I get the train to
NHS in
Liverpool,
Scotland
usually about once a week,
experience
and it's an
the longest
absolute
ever
nightmare.
waiting list. Mr.
I was
Speaker,
stuck in Liverpool
that
on Saturday
isn't-
night
that
because
isn't
of
even
the trains
my
in England
assessment.
not
That's
running
what
on
we learned
time.
in the
In fact, not
SNP's
running at
leadership
all.
debate
Every other one is
last year.
cancelled. The ones that do run often don't have a toilet on the damn
Independent
thing.
retailers are the lifeblood of our high streets and critical to the regeneration of our town centres. So we should cherish and celebrate the entrepreneurs who set them
Who
up
is
and run
this
them.
slab
With that in
of
mind, would the
gammon?
Prime Minister join me in congratulating the
I'll
winners of my
say it
recent
again.
competition
Every
to
single
find
male
Newcastle's
Tory
best loved
MP
independent
either looks
shops
like
and
an
market
Undertaker
stalls,
or a
namely
slab
Tony
of
Price
gammon.
Quality Butchers, McJulies, Cheeky Cheesecakes, and the overall winner,
fuck
and
are you
that's
talking
McGree
about,
Bakery,
Aaron Bellend?
who only opened in January 2021
God,
and
he's
are
out of
already
his ear in the
expanding
next
to a
election,
second
isn't
site.
That's his last
Well, I
hurrah.
agree with my honourable friend about the
don't even know what he's
incredible
fucking
benefit
talking about.
that small businesses and
talking
independent
about?
retailers bring
Small
to our
businesses
high
are great.
streets and our
Yeah.
economy. I congratulate
War
the
is
team
bad.
and Asthma Greek
Children
Bakery
dying
for
is
winning the
awful, don't you
competition.
agree?
And I know that they will feel
Softball
reassured by their
questions from
government's
his own
investment
party.
in his
Pathetic.
constituency through the
Why doesn't
towns
someone have a
deal
go
that
with
they
him about
have,
freedom of
and of
speech?
course,
You know,
funding
why
from
did they
the
put pressure
Future
on
High
the
Street
BBC
Fund.
to
Stephen
suspend
Farring.
Gary
Very
Lineker?
much, Mr. Speaker. Just ahead of St Patrick's Day, can I thank the Prime Minister for his recent deep engagement with Northern Ireland, in particular the conclusion of the Windsor Framework, and hopefully we will see the executive restored shortly. However, that executive is facing a spiral of budget cuts, which will stop it from transforming public services on an invest-to-save basis and investing in a prosperity agenda. So will the Prime
Yeah,
Minister
it's
and
the
indeed the
arrogance.
Chancellor
It's what
work
they're
with the
taught in the
Northern
schools
Ireland
to go to,
parties
Duke.
on a financial package in
yeah,
order to
because-
transform Northern Ireland, accepting the need for strict conditions and a real focus on key areas
Now,
such
the
as health,
Alliance
education,
Party
skills
are
and infrastructure?
not. They're the ones.
Well, can I
that's
thank
the
the honourable gentleman and his colleagues and his party for the
denominational
engagement they
party that
had
represents Protestants
in the run-up
Northern
to
Ireland,
the
and
Windsor
atheists
framework.
and
It
Jews
was
and
helpful and I
Muslims,
appreciated
Sikhs,
his constructive
Hindus, Jains
involvement.
and
And my right
Zoroastrians
honourable friend, the
and
Northern Ireland Secretary, has
Buddhists,
been
Buddhists,
working closely
and
and will
everyone
work
else in
closely
between.
with all Northern Irish parties, leading
Animists.
discussions on a wide
Everyone is
range of
shouting
issues,
about
including
boats
the
while
public
the trucks
finances,
roll in
because
unchecked
I
due
believe
to
what the honourable
Brexit.
gentleman believes is the
no
people
one
of
dares
Northern
mention
Ireland
that
need
fact
and
conveniently.
deserve
That's
effective,
very true. That's
accountable,
very true.
devolved
The dirty
government
fecker.
up and running as quickly as
Absolutely
possible,
100%
and I hope
on
that
the
those
money
talks
there.
can be constructive in
What
leading
exactly
to
do
that
they
aim.
conserve? Well, that's the thing. When people talk about Nazis being socialists, because it's stuff to National Socialism, it's like, well, the Conservatives don't conserve anything.
Zero
Destroy
strikes
everything.
on London Underground. Today
What?
is the 135th day of strikes since then.
Yeah.
Will
Since
my
when? Since you
right
got
honourable
into
friend
power.
join with me in condemning those strikes that have brought misery to the travelling public in London?
No,
and
you've
also
brought misery to
condemn
the
Mayor
travelling
of
public. In
London
fact,
for
you've
his
brought
failure
misery to
address
everyone for the
this.
last 13 years. Piss off. Get in your rocket
Mr.
and
Speaker,
fire
my
yourself into the
my honourable
sun.
friend is absolutely right
It's absolutely
about the
horrible.
misery being inflicted on Londoners
Oh, really?
by the incompetent running of TfL. It's worth bearing in mind.
Oh,
Not
thanks
only
for
do
letting me
the
know about
party
the volume.
opposite
I'll
vote
look it up.
against
Is
our
that better?
minimum service levels, which will
Is that
provide respite for the hard-working British
better?
public. The Mayor of London, since the pandemic, has received £6 billion of additional funding
that's
for
like
transport
small fry to you,
services.
mate.
So for us to be in the situation
chicken
that we
feed.
find ourselves in today is simply unacceptable.
What? It's your fault.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. An investigation reported in The Guardian and the BBC revealed that in the last year, on more than 450 instances, sewage was leaking into cancer wards, maternity units and A&E departments. Without
Wow.
urgent action, the legacy of this Conservative government on the NHS will be an image of a nurse cleaning up sewage around a patient in a crumbling hospital. Will the Prime Minister commit to that pledge of building 40 hospitals by 2030, including in West Hertfordshire, and will he establish a fund to repair those hospitals that are in a dire state of disrepair?
Do it. Hey, Dan, come and say hello.
Mr. Speaker, we are investing
wave to
record
the
sums in
camera.
NHS
Otherwise
capital
they're gonna
to
think I'm
upgrade
talking to
dozens
myself.
of hospitals
Come on,
across the
just come and
country,
wave.
but in
Just come.
particular
Look,
to
Ben
build
Chambers is here
the
from
40
16
new
Million
hospitals,
Rising.
and
Look,
we are
there he
committed
is.
in particular
Look.
to a new hospital scheme
There's the
at
camera
West
there.
Hertfordshire Hospital
Hello.
NHS Trust as part of that programme, and the programme is working closely
Fun
with
stuff.
the
He's
Trust
just
on
sitting
their
there, but he's
plan
so
in
bored,
lines with the
and he
approach
can't get
that
out the
we're taking
room because
nationally.
I'm kind of like by the wall.
Speaker, does
I hope
the
he
Prime
doesn't need the
Minister
loo.
agree
I'll have to
with
throw him
me
a
that
bucket.
agri-tech is a vital part of the UK economy, and in particular the excellent work of the Crop and Environment Research Centre at Harper Adams University in Shropshire. I know he has a busy
British charities
schedule,
will
but
lose
could he
half
dispatch the Secretary of State
their EU
to come
funding.
and look
Sorry,
at that
we'll lose their EU
sector?
funding at the end of the month.
And in
About half of them might collapse.
the women leading science and maths at Harper Adams, and indeed
Another
leading
slab
the
of gammon.
world.
Look at it. Fine.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I agree with my honourable friend.
Is that the name of a pub or something? Is that literally the name of a pub?
Of the type of innovation and skills provision that we need in our agri-tech sector, and that's why I'm pleased post-Brexit that we can introduce the gene editing bill, Mr. Speaker, which will help drive productivity and efficiency in our agricultural sector even further.
Bullshit.
Speaker, the government promised the 40 new hospitals 3 years ago, and the Prime Minister's just expressed his intention to proceed again. 2 years ago, in St Mary's Paddington Hospital, serving my constituency, a ward ceiling fell in during floods.
That would be a
lie.
lie.
The hospital was closed by a fire, and the birth centre and maternity wards are threatened by structural problems. This week, trust managers said the infrastructure is having an increasing impact on staff and patients. We just can't afford to continue to waste money on failing buildings. But the hospital is waiting for the commitment from the government for the funding under the New Hospitals programme. Will today be the day that the Prime Minister commits to that specifically?
Mr. Speaker, as I said in my previous answer, the government is committed to the New Hospitals programme. We've committed record sums for NHS Capital, not just for that programme, but for smaller scale upgrades across the country.
Oh yeah, smaller scale. I mean, we're not actually going to build these hospitals. It's all
in the
bullshit.
same way across the country, and I look forward to those conversations continuing.
Mr. Speaker, governments at all level, national and local, should always strive to deliver value for money for the taxpayer, particularly in a cost of living crisis. Therefore, does the Prime Minister share my astonishment that my local Labour-led Westminster Council voted last week to raise council tax by 2%, council tenants' rents by 7%,
maybe if you gave them enough money, they wouldn't have to
and
raise
increase
tax.
allowances for its senior
Bit
councillors
rich coming from the party
by
that
up
raised
to a
VAT from
staggering
17.5% to 20%.
45%.
Yeah. Everything you buy, 2.5% extra goes to the Tories.
Prime Minister, you've got to answer.
Well, Mr.
Can I just say, Prime Minister, I don't know who's giving you the advice, but take it from the chair. Please answer.
Mr. Speaker, it is disappointing to see that I think it's been just under a year that the now Labour-run Westminster Council has put its own councillors' pay ahead of everything else. I can't quite believe the figures that we heard from Honourable Friend. A staggering, an eye-watering 45% pay increase when people across our country and indeed the world are suffering cost of living pressures. It's clear, Mr. Speaker, that it's only Conservative-run councils that deliver for their residents.
Oh, stop saying the word deliver. God, you sound like a mental person.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, every child in the UK is
get an extra million
entitled
for every
to free
time you use the
NHS
word
dental treatment.
deliver.
But with 80% of practices not accepting children as new patients, is the Prime Minister proud of his record on our children's
of
dental health?
in this country don't accept children.
Mr. Speaker, we're investing £3 billion in NHS dentistry, and because of the
we're
reform to the contract, there will be about 10% more activity this year above contracted levels. There are 500 more dentists in the NHS today, but also I think almost a 45% increase in the amount of dental care being provided to children.
Why does he give a shit? His kids are made for life.
5 years ago, £40 million of public funds were set aside for brain tumour research, but recent government figures suggest that a little as a quarter of that money has been deployed to researchers. The mechanism to distribute research funding effectively is broken. As a result, the brain tumour community has not seen the breakthroughs in treatment and survival rates that many of us believe they should have. Does my friend the Prime Minister agree with me that a unique, complex disease needs a unique response? And in what is Brain Tumour Awareness Month, will he make brain cancer a critical research priority across all cancers?
Can I thank my honourable friend for his thoughtful and powerful question. He's absolutely right about the importance of medical research being expedited so we can deliver better care for the people who are affected. I'll make sure that he gets a meeting with the relevant minister so we can ensure that that funding gets out to the people who need it and we can bring relief to them as quickly as we can.
Joanna Chuck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the encouragement of the British government, female prosecutors and female judges in Afghanistan stood up for the rule of law and for a more inclusive and equal nation. Those left behind are in mortal danger. Last year, I met with senior officials at the Foreign Office who were open to making a specific case for at least some of these women to be relocated to the United Kingdom, but nothing has happened since then. This dire situation requires a prime ministerial intervention. So I'm not asking to meet the Prime Minister's officials or his ministers. I'm asking him directly, will he meet with me to see what we can do for these women?
Prime Minister. I'm very happy to meet with the Honourable Lady, and she will know that we take our obligations to those who helped and served in Afghanistan extremely seriously, both through the Arab scheme and the ACRS scheme. Yes. We have already brought 20,000 refugees from Afghanistan to the UK. We've worked closely with the UNHCR and others on those legal routes, but I'd be happy to meet with her to ensure that we're targeting our compassion, our generosity on the people who most need it, and not those who are coming here illegally.
Caroline Nansen.
Mr. Speaker, at the height of the pandemic, centre-assessed grades allowed our young people to move forward with their lives. Lara, my very brave young constituent, is now battling cancer and will not sit the GCSE exams she has worked so hard for, and could be left with only a certificate of recognition. In exceptional circumstances such as these, why can't the same principle apply? Would my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, look compassionately at this situation?
Well, yes.
Prime Minister. Start by sending my best wishes to Laura and thanking my honourable friend for raising her case in Parliament. Of course, it's incredibly upsetting and challenging for children and young people to be diagnosed with a serious illness, and especially so close to their exams. Now, there are allowances that are made.
No experience.
Students will
no
speak
experience
to their school or their
college
to make those reasonable adjustments, but I'll be happy to make sure that we work with my honourable friend to find a resolution in Laura's case.
School for one day in January 2021.
I welcome the PM's numeracy drive, but did he know that some 7.1 million adults in England are functionally illiterate? It's often diagnosed late in life, like with TV's Jay Blades, if at all. So would he thank the entirely voluntary Read Easy, who are turning this round at just £250 cost per new reader, and commit to a national strategy for eradicating this problem that's costing our economy $25 billion a year in lost competitiveness?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I agree with the Honourable Lady. Literacy and numeracy are critical for adults to be able to participate both in society and the economy. I'm happy to praise Read Easy for the work that they do. I look forward to learning more about them. But the best way to solve this problem is to ensure that our young children get the reading skills and training and education that they need. And I'm so pleased that because of the reforms introduced by this previous Conservative governments, particularly with phonics, we have now marched up the international league table and have some of the best results for reading that we've seen in a very long time.
No, that was Labour. That was Labour before you were in power.
More than a quarter of the economic output of this country is in sectors overseen by some of our major regulators, such as Ofwat and Ofgem. But historically, there's been very little in the way of oversight to say whether they're doing a good job or a bad job, whether they're achieving international best practice or not. So can the Prime Minister look to see what he can do to address this historical oversight and enable regulators to play their part in ensuring economic growth?
Well, Mr. Speaker, as always, my honourable friend makes a very thoughtful point, and he's absolutely right about the importance of our regulators in driving growth, competitive investment in our economy. I know the Chancellor will have something to say on this later on, but he should rest assured that we will keep at it to make sure that there is accountability and oversight of our regulators. We all want to see more growth in our economy, and they need to play their part in delivering it.
Red Stringer.
Mr. Speaker, 20 years after defeat in the Second World War, the first Japanese bullet train travelled the 300 miles from Tokyo to Osaka at 200 miles an hour. Isn't it a measure of the government's incompetence, lack of commitment to the regions, lack of commitment to infrastructure, that it is now expected that 24 years after a Conservative Transport Secretary announced that HS2 would happen, that Birmingham, Manchester and London will not be linked by that time?
Mr. Speaker, we're actually delivering the biggest...
He said delivering! He's delivering HS2! Just really fucking slowly! Like a snail! delivering a bit of mail to the Sahara Desert overland from John O'Groats. What's it doing? It's delivering. Look at it, it's delivering. Is it doing anything? No, it's moving really slowly, but it's delivering. Delivering. God, I hate these cunts. I don't know how much longer I can do this, to be honest with you. I just mean in general. I just fucking hate them. I'm sick of their fucking lies. He's worth more, right? 1% of his assets are worth more than you will earn in your lifetime.
I hope very much that later today
and he gets to make decisions on how you live your life and what you're allowed to spend money on.
Businesses. But for motorists and small businesses in Bromley and the rest of outer London, they're going to be hard hit later this year by the Mayor of London's stealth tax in the form of an ultra-low emission charge. Money and jobs. Isn't it?
What about your fucking stealth taxes on the fact that our electricity bills have gone up to £600 a month under your shitty fucking government? The fact that our energy bills, our food bills have gone up through the roof, the cost of living has gone through the roof, transportation costs have gone through the roof under your fucking government.
To the voices of commuters, of families, and of small businesses as he inflicts his damaging tax on them. This government will always be on the side of those people, and this budget will deliver for them too.
Oh God, deliver! He said deliver again. Right, that's it. Right, that's it. That's your lot. Sorry about that. At the beginning there, I had my computer already on, and what happens as a result of that is that it was all sort of messed up still from having lots of things happening. This is going to be the budget. Now, normally, under normal circumstances, I would hang around for the budget, I think, but I'm not going to today because Ben's here, Ben Chambers, and he's going to come over and say hello again. Come and say hello, Ben. Say hello.
Oh, God.
No, it's just call me Graham.
Who was saying hello to?
The people on the screen there over there.
Your crew? There.
Yeah, you got to.
Oh, I can see it there. Yeah, I'm looking there.
Yeah,
Hi.
You're looking there.
Hello.
So what are you doing here, Ben?
I am doing a.
What are you doing here?
We're doing a movie podcast.
We're doing a movie podcast.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. What's it about?
Hang on, I'm trying to.
There you go. You just got to angle yourself in a little bit.
We're doing,
God, speaking to the mic.
We're doing a movie podcast called Ben and Graham's Big Movie Listicles.
Big Movie Listicles. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
What have we done so far,
We've
Ben?
done nearly 3 episodes of the 10 we're hoping to get done today.
Yeah, that's good. That's good going though, isn't it?
It is. Yes, because Graham insisted on breaking to cast all sorts of aspersions on our lovely government.
You stopped when you were talking because he was going on and on about the Shawshank Redemption. He was giving a blow-by-blow account of a movie that literally everyone's seen.
Well, you never know. There might be a few out there.
You're the one who has to edit it, so I'm not asked.
I'm not going to do any editing.
So look out for that. It's going to be on Mixcloud
and YouTube. Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Will it?
Everyone watching this is like, what the hell are they talking about? Movies? I thought they were politics people. But yeah. Also, rejoin the EU. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And fuck the Tories.
Fuck the fucking Tories. Thanks for that, Ben.
All
right. Ben's taking the green screen with him.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'll just... Someone said, don't ruin the magic. It's actually upside down. That's the flat edge. And this is the curved edge, so it keeps fucking up to one side. Anyway, listen, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, wow. I seem to be peaking. That's not good. I will return tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I think. Maybe. I'm doing an interview, hopefully, with Mike Galsworthy and Femi Olawale tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So... that might overrun. So I'm going to, sometime between 9 and 10 o'clock, I'll come on live tomorrow to rip the Tories a new one and talk about the budget that's just being announced in Parliament right now. And give my hot take on it. You love my hot takes, don't you, Ben?
I do.
Look, my computer's fucked up. I can't even see the screen to turn it off. Oh, there you go. Okay. So anyway, thanks for watching. And sorry I didn't get through all the chats. If anyone dropped a super chat in there, thank you so much. I'll thank you properly tomorrow. I'll get on to Alexi 2020 onto the Discord server. I'll do that this afternoon. And until then, thanks for watching. Take care. And hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.